How's it going, guys, and welcome back to the Faulks Tech YouTube channel. So in this video, I wanted to go over something that I wish I would have had when I first started the 3D printing hobby, and I had a lot of trouble getting into the hobby because I didn't have this one video, just an intro to everything. And that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm not going to be getting too in-depth with the process as far as how to model, how to do that, but I will go over the programs you're going to need. And I'm going to be going over also how to set things up within the program and just show you how to import things into the program. And when I say program, I'm talking about the slicer. And the only thing you need to know about a slicer, that is where you import your 3D models, the .stl or the .obj or whatever format your model is in. It will go to your slicer, and from your slicer, you will then convert it to G-code, which is what the printer reads and spits out within that 3D print. So the slicer of choice that I'm using, that I haven't really strayed anywhere else. I haven't tried Slicer 3D or the others. My choice of slicer program is Cura. I love Cura. I've had a lot of success with it, and it's just easy to use, and it's easy to set up and easy to configure. There's tons out there. You can do your own research. The keywords that you'll want to do if you want to research your own programs is best slicer for 3D modeling, or just type in slicer for 3D modeling. From there, you can do your own comparisons, get the one that you like. I'm doing Cura, like I said a moment ago, so I'll show you what we need to do from there. So yeah, talking about 3D printing real quick, there's a couple things you need to know about 3D printing. If you're thinking about getting into the hobby, it is a hobby that requires patience. So it's going to be very rare for you to get a successful print right off the bat. Right when you start printing, you're going to just jump right in and print everything successful, no mistakes, no failures. That's rarely going to happen. And you will have those bouts of success when you can just do a print and it turns out amazing, but you also learn failure, and you'll learn it very well. But that's one thing you'll learn from. And talking about my experience, I know I'm talking a lot, but I just want to preface this tutorial. If you're thinking about getting into 3D printing, you're going to need patience. But it's a great hobby. It's fun. Seeing things that you create and come to life is amazing. But let's jump into the tutorial, and if you guys want to hear story time with Derek, I can go into that in another video, so I'm going to stop rambling and get on with the tutorial. So again, slicer is our first step after you've purchased your 3D printer. Let's say it's on this way. It's best to go ahead and get your slicer installed and set up the profile. My choice is Cura, so you would download it here and you would run it. So I've already installed it, but I'll show you what it looks like. I click download. You can then specify, I just choose I don't want to share any information, and download. Once it downloads, you'll just run and install it. And once that's installed, you can then open Cura to set up your profile. And I apologize for my mechanical keyboard. It's going to be pretty annoying in this video, just a heads up. So I'm launching Cura now. Alright guys, so I got Cura open. My Cura will look different from yours because I already have a printer added to mine. Yours will be wanting you to add a printer. So I'm going to show you how to add one now. I'm actually going to add in my second printer. This is a new installation, so I don't have my second printer on here, and that is the Monoprice. So yours is going to look exactly like this when you start it. And since I'm going to be adding the Monoprice, I don't have Ultimaker, so I'm going to close that. I don't have a custom printer, which is a custom FFF printer. I don't know what that is. We're going to go to other. We're going to scroll down. I'm looking for Monoprice Mini. So I'm going down to the M's. And you can see they got tons here. They have the Ender. And here is the Monoprice Select Mini V2. That's the one I have as well. That's my small guy. And I could customize my printer name. I'm going to keep it where it's at. I'm going to choose Add Printer. And here, I'm going to leave everything default. You really won't have to change this very often. Now you can change your G-code. That's getting in more advanced. I do have custom G-code. I'm not going to put it in this video. But basically, this is something you can specify for your printer's start actions. So before the print, you can change where it homes to, which is where it'll first touch down on the plate. You can change the orientation it goes to kind of get the first layer of filament going, and then you can change the G code, the NG code. When the print is done, you can do delay 5 minutes. You can turn off the fan and then turn off your stepper motor. So there's a lot of customization. There's a lot of great G code examples already out there that you can find. But I'm gonna leave things the same here because it will automatically put in our dimensions here, and I don't need to change any of this. You can change your origin at center. I never mess with that. And also you have your extruder here. Again, this is where you can change your nozzle size. If you put a custom nozzle on, you can change that. By default, it will pull in the one that came with the printer automatically. I'm going to choose finish, and you can see it'll bring in the size of the bed. And I'll just show you a comparison. This is the Mini, and this is the Ender 3. So there's quite a big difference there. So I'm going to jump back over to the monoprice as I set that up, or since we're setting that up now. And again, there's a lot of things that aren't showing up here. And if you go by tutorials, they're going to be changing things that you're not going to be able to see. It's just not visible. So to make it where you can see that, you'll click on these 3 lines, show all settings. And now, as you scroll down, you'll be able to find every setting that they're changing and mimic that setting. That's something that I struggled with. That's why I'm sharing this with you. When I first started, I was watching videos, I was watching tutorials, reading blogs and forums, and trying to get my settings just correct enough to do a great print. Now, the settings by default are pretty good, but if you want to get the perfect print, you got to really fine-tune these profiles. These profiles come in many different settings here, and this is basically the size of the filament that's being extruded, how thin the layers are, and how small the filament layers are that's being printed out. But yeah, guys, that is pretty much it. You come here and customize the things you want to pay attention here. I'm not doing a full tutorial on Cura, but I'm just going to give you a few things that's important. The infill is pretty important. Infill is basically how much of the center you want to be filled in. If you do 22% infill, it will do walls, then you'll have 22% of the filament inside, and the rest will be air. If you do 100%, that will be a pretty durable piece, and it will be 100% filament. There's no air gaps or anything like that. And going down, another thing that you want to be mindful of is the temperature. When you buy your filament, whether it be PLA, ABS, PETG, carbon fiber, depending on the hot end that you have on your printer, if it supports it, whatever you get, make sure you pay attention to what they want you to print at. The Amazon Basic filament, which I bought but I haven't tried it yet, a lot of people have complained about that because of the print. The print temperature hasn't been set correctly. And if you read the side of the Amazon Basic print filament, it says that it does best, if I'm not mistaken, 215 to 230. So read up on your filament. The 3D Solutech is the ones that I've had the most success with, and I have had success just printing it at 200 degrees Celsius. Pay attention to that. Change that to whatever you need it to be set to. If you want to have pretty good adhesion, you'll want to change this as well. 60 degrees is pretty good, but if you get a glass bed, I would recommend changing that to 65. I have a lot of success on my Ender with the glass bed, changing it to 65. I don't need any type of adhesion, such as any type of hairspray or roll-on glue. Or the other, I think some people use sugar and water. I've never tried any of that. The only thing I have tried is the glue stick, and that works really well. But on the Ender, I don't need it. I just change this to 65, and the layers just stick. It just works like magic. So yeah, so that's the main things you want to pay attention to: infill, printing temperatures, and the last thing I want to mention on the list. Speed is important as well when you're doing a really fine job and you want to make sure that you get really good detail. Sometimes you have to bump this down, but not always. But one big key thing is supports. So supports, you'll want to generate supports if you're doing a print that isn't flat. If you're doing a print that is kind of an odd shape, and I'll show you this when I get one put in here, but when you have one that's an odd shape or one that's just not flat, you'll need to generate supports. And of course you have this build plate adhesion type. I'm a big fan of skirt, so that's where I'm going to be leaving mine at. And this is just some extra settings that I never mess with. You can, if you have dual extrusion, you can set that up. Mesh fixer, you can come in here and change things as well. And again, I don't mess with any of this because I don't really have to. Tree supports, that is something I am going to start looking into, but not in this video. But that's pretty much Cura. I know I'm doing a quick and dirty overview. Again, this isn't a full Cura tutorial. This is a 3D printing in general tutorial, so we have to move on. But if you'd like to see more of Cura, feel free to let me know, and I'll do that. But I am going to minimize this because we have more to talk about, and we'll be revisiting Cura in a moment. So popping over, so there's three other tabs I have up here. Thingiverse is going to be the site that you'll want to go to. Thingiverse is a free website. You don't even have to sign in to download files. You just come in here, you find a file that you like, you download it, and then you can go on and start printing it. Alright, so once you're logged in, you can log in by just creating you an account here. I'm logged in. And again, you just find the print that you want to do. We're going to do root. No, not that. So I'm going to click Explore, click Things, and they have what people have put in. So this is a really good place to just come look and browse. What you find in the Explore tab and Things is what people have uploaded. There's as recent as 58 seconds ago. So I'm just going to come through here, find one that looks kind of difficult. Alright, so this Dwarf Barbarian is a good one to give a try. I'm not sure why it's loading, but we see it down here. There it is right there. So this will be a good one to print, and this will be one you would want to use supports on. So I'm going to click Download All Files. It will be downloaded in a zip folder. Once it's downloaded, you can click it, click in Files. Here are the STL files that will automatically be imported into Cura, as long as you set it up to have that as the default place that these guys will open to. So if you don't have that set, we'll need to extract this, and I'll show you how to set that up, because that's not something I went over to begin with here. So we'll extract the files. We'll go into the files, we'll right click on one of the files, open with, choose another app. Cura will be listed down here. You'll choose Cura, and then you'll check always use this to open s.stl files. Click OK, and then it will open up your file. Alright, so I'm going to expand this. Now, one thing I haven't talked about is how to navigate this. If you right click on your mouse, you can just scroll around or move around like this. If you have a wheel, you can come in here and zoom in and see how it looks. That looks pretty good. Now, if you look at the red is what it indicates that there's nothing supporting it, so it may not turn out that great. You may need to put supports on that. And because I did this just to show you how supports are, or how the supports work, we're going to scroll through here. We're going to click Generate Supports. Alright. And by default, it'll put this in place. Now, guys, I do recommend, this is just a quick tutorial just to get you off and running. There are videos on YouTube. I don't remember the actual channel, but there's videos on there that just do these 3D models of these miniatures. And I highly recommend you guys watch. If you want to print out some miniatures just to play around and test your quality, I highly recommend you watching those videos. Don't base it off my settings. I am not fine-tuning this whatsoever in this video. I'm just doing it to show you and get you off and running. if you want to print this in perfect quality or almost perfect quality, please stop what you're doing. You can finish the video, but don't use my settings. Go and find one that just does these models and go from there. But you can come over here, as you see on this left, you can scale it, and scaling it is exactly what it says. You can bump it up. If I were to print this, this will be the size, pretty much the size of the monoprice, 120 millimeters, just about. So that's pretty large. That will be a very big mini. It's not really a mini anymore. It's more like a maxi. But anyways, on the left, you can also rotate it. I don't know why you would want to do this, but you can have it print upside down. And if you print it upside down, of course, all this red means we need support. And you have to. So when you do these, you have to really guess at what orientation it will print in the best quality at. The more prints you do, the better you will get. I personally haven't done any miniatures just yet. When I say any miniatures, I mean any sophisticated miniatures like this. I've done a Pikachu, which was just one block and didn't really need support. But yeah, guys, that is about it for this. Then at this point, once you have your model exactly how you want it, you'll click Slice. What it's doing now is converting this .stl file to a .g-code file. And if I wanted to print it this large, this is why I said you'll need patience, because this will take 12 hours and 52 minutes. And then I'll save the file. I'll choose where I want to save it. So this is going to go to my desktop. 3D printing. I can rename it. I'm just going to call this Dwarf Barbarian. And I am not going to print this in this video, but I will show you what we're doing here. Alright, so there's two things you can do here. And I'm going to stop right here because I want to discuss this as well. If your printer has so if your printer is Wi-Fi connected, if you went through the setup and connected through Wi-Fi, then you can just save this, and then you can go to the UI and upload it from there. If you're using a monoprice, that one I just added here, that also is Wi-Fi connected. It has Wi-Fi capability. You can easily set that up. But let's say you just want to use the SD card. Well, that's a pretty easy concept as well, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Alright guys, so that's you would then save this and upload it to your web browser, your IP address of your 3D printer. If you're using one and you're using the SD card, which I am using, all you need to do is put the SD card into your computer. If you don't have, and I say SD card, but it's actually the micro SD card. But you'll need if you're like me and you have a desktop, I have a USB micro SD to USB adapter. So I'm just going to put this in a USB port, and you're going to notice on the bottom right is that save to file is going to automatically change to save to recoverable media. So I pushed it in, it found it there. Let's make that go away, and as you can see, it says save to removable drive G. So we'll click save, and it is saving to my G drive. And then I'll eject it, throw that bad boy in my printer, and then go through the UI or go through the GUI within the touchscreen or the screen itself, print it, and you're off to the races. This converts everything for you. So let's say that you wanted to design your own 3D print here. So I'm going to minimize this. I'm going to close this. And we're going to just do one thing here. Alrighty, so let's say you wanted to do your own 3D print. You wanted to create your own, design your own. That's what we're going to be talking about now in this video. So I have two tabs here. I have Tinkercad and I have Autodesk Fusion 360. Both free options as long as you do it correctly with Autodesk. But I'm going to sign into Tinkercad. Alright, I have signed into Tinkercad, and Tinkercad is very easy to use. I've designed quite a few many things here. So I've already removed them. I just don't like the clutter. But I mean, it's so simple. You'll come in here, you'll see this. You can then come over here and drag a box. Let's say we wanted to put multiple cylinders or multiple circles in this box. You can use these cutouts here to do that. So what I'll do is I'll make this a square with a cylinder box here. So what's really cool is I can shrink either of these. I'm just going to do that now before I put it in. So I'm going to shrink this here. And I'm going to do this right here. I'm going to select it, align. I want this to be center and center. So now it is centered within the square here. I would click, drag, and group. And now we have a circle, a square with a circle in it. Now, once you have your design, again, this is not a tutorial in Tinkercad. There's tons of tutorials out there. Go watch those if you want that. If you want me to do a tutorial, I've designed, like I said, quite a few many things. I can do that. But getting this into Cura is as simple as this. You'll click your print. You really don't have to click. You can just click anywhere. Click Export. Click the .stl. It'll throw it down here. And if you follow the step that we done a moment ago, it already put it to where STL goes to Cura. So we'll click this. There is my design. You can then come in here, change your profile to however you want it to be, how you want it specified, slice, and then you can begin your print. It's as simple as that with Tinkercad. Tinkercad is by far the easiest and one of my most favorite 3D design platforms. If you want something more, if you want to design more sophisticated things, you'll want to use AutoDesk Fusion. There's tons of other ones out there. AutoDesk Fusion is just one of my other favorites. So what you want to do, you want to go ahead and download this guy. So we're going to click Get Started Now. Download free trial. And don't let free trial scare you. It will say free trial, but you can actually change it to a hobbyist license. And it's really easy to do that, and I'll show you how to do that now. Alright guys, so we're back. I know for you that this is just a second, but for me it took an incredibly long time. So you may be sitting here for a while with it growing in the progress bar there. So first thing you want to do is go ahead and enter your email. It creates your account if you haven't already set up an account just yet. Alright guys, so we have Autodesk Fusion 360 up. I am unable to show you how to register due to it already picking up that on my account, but I will show you where it will be. But first, you'll get in. You'll need to put in your login, your email, your password. You'll need to then use some type of authenticator app, or you can choose another method and have them send you a 6-digit code by email. That's the method I did. If you want to use the authenticator, it will be Duo Authentication. That's DUO Authentication. I know it's on the Google Play Store. If you're using Apple, I don't know if it's out there. Worth a try searching it on the market. If not, just use the alternative method and have them send you a 6-digit code by email. Put that in, and then finally, we are in. Once you're in, you're going to be greeted with a UI that looks very similar to this. The only thing that's different is you're going to have a blue tab right here where my mouse is. What you'll do is you'll click that blue tab, and as you see, it'll look just like this. Term ends in 30 days. And we're going to click this step-by-step guide. Alright, so once you hit that blue icon, you'll click on, it'll look something like this. It may be different, but you'll see a qualify button. You click that qualify. You can then come in here, choose, I'm going to tell you exactly what I chose to get this for free. I chose 3D modeling here. And I chose non-commercial use. Don't choose commercial use. If you use commercial use, you may have to pay. I chose non-commercial use. And then I chose the 2 checkboxes here and continue. And if you selected the startup license, they may want you to put in some information, or if you selected the commercial license up here, they may want you to put more information in. If it does prompt you, go ahead and fill this in. Just do I am a startup. If you did do that and you're still wanting to see if you qualify, go ahead and check these 2 boxes and continue. It should still allow you to have that, but I'd recommend you going with the non-commercial so you can avoid that. Once you do that, you'll have the full version of Fusion 360 here, like I had. This is the startup license. you can then come in here, modify, and then start exporting. Concerning the exporting, this is a little different, so I'm just going to do a quick bots here. I know this is getting a little lengthy, so here's our bots. I'm going to export this because I want to 3D print it because it's the most amazing bots. Rectangle, side, rectangle, upside down, sideways, rectangle, square thing that I've ever seen in my life. So I'm going to hit enter. I'm going to select this guy. I'm going to do make 3D print. This right here will pop over. You just use you change this to what you're using. I'm using Cura. I'm going to click that. Refinement, I'm going to leave medium. You can come in here and change it to high. You click OK. It'll then import it into Cura. And there's my beautiful, most amazing bar of squareness and rectangular amazingness that I've ever seen. Then I can slice it and print it. I know this is a mouthful. I know this was a very long tutorial, longer than I've done in the past. Honestly, I've had a lot of fun doing it up until the AutoDesk guy. That guy took quite a while. But yeah, so that is all you'll need. Getting started at least. You'll need your printer, you'll need your slicer, you'll need your program of choice for 3D modeling, and that'll be it. You're off to the races. Quick recap. Cura is my favorite. You can get Cura here. If you want to do very simple 3D CAD designs, Tinkercad is the way to go. If you want to do more complex, go with AutoDesk Fusion 360, and you can then get the startup license or the free non-commercial license by following the tutorial that can be found at this knowledge base here. I'm going to try to put all these links in the description below. That way you have an easy way to see it. But guys, that's it. Thank you for watching this very long, drawn-out video. I hope it does help you in some way, shape, or form. I hope it points you, if you're looking into getting into 3D printing, I'm hoping it helps you ease into it instead of being thrown into it and just burned alive and having to learn things the hard way like many of us have. But yeah, that's it, guys. We're done. Congratulations, you finished a very long tutorial, possibly boring depending on your take of the video. But thanks for watching. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.